So in this video, I want to cover some tips that are going to help you make more sales. So the first one is pretty straightforward, but I really, really strongly believe in it. Use a deadline. So any promotion without a deadline is costing you money every single day. Not just your automated webinar, but any promotion that you have, whether that's a launch, whether that's an email sequence. So take a look through all of the things that you have going in your business, or think about everything that you're going to be doing in your business over the course of the next year. Those promotions, joint venture promotions, or evergreen promotions, whatever the case may be, they need a deadline. Without a deadline, you're just burning up money, and it's costing you money every single day. Okay, so to really drive this point home and so that you don't just hear it from me, I want you to hear from Abby Ashley. She's an online course creator. Here we go.
Funnel, I was doing, anywhere from 10 to 12,000 a month in sales. The first month that I put in Deadline Funnel, with no extra traffic, I haven't ran ads to this or anything, I made $60,000 in sales in my funnel. So it was crazy. It's actually, I reached out to you guys to tell you. I was like, this is insane. How much of a difference? And so, just night and day, adding true urgency. It's been incredible.
Hi, my name is Jack Bourne. I'm the founder. Okay, so there you go. I just wanted you to hear from me. So you need to have a deadline with any promotion, any campaign that you're running, whether it's live, whether it's automated webinar, an email series. Make sure that you're using a deadline. And of course, if you're going to use a deadline, use Deadline Funnel because it's going to be authentic. Now, the next tip is delay showing the countdown. There's a feature inside of Deadline Funnel that lets you hide the countdown until really towards the end of the campaign. So let me go ahead and switch to the admin and show you where you can do that. Okay, so here we are inside the Deadline Funnel admin, and I want to start by sharing something with you which I want to make sure that you know about, which is not really this tip, but you can actually delay the floating bar, say 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. So on the page itself, you could have it delay a few seconds before it actually appears. All right, so that's handy to know. However, what I was really referring to is in the settings area. So let's go under settings, and I'm going to scroll down to, all right, hide the countdown until this many hours remaining. So this is really, really powerful, and it's one of my favorite features. And what it gives you the ability to do, just like it says, is to hide the countdown. The countdown is on the pages. So imagine your replay page, your sales pages, your checkout pages. But if it's out of a 7-day follow-up sequence, if it's like day 2 or day 3, do you want a countdown? I would argue the timing of it is really, really important. You really want to show it during that perfect persuasion window. I wouldn't wait until the last day per se, but I would probably do the last 2 or 3 days. So I'd probably set this to like 72 hours. All right. If my math is correct, that's 3 days. So let me show you exactly how this works. So if I click save, I'm going to go to one of the Kajabi pages. So here's the checkout page. So notice that it's 5 days left. I'm going to show you how you can test this out. So let's go ahead and hit refresh because it says that there's 5 days left. When I hit refresh, and this is true of the, actually that's the regular price page. So what I can do is let's go to the, here's the short offer page. Okay, so we've got 5 days, whether it's the sales pages or the checkout page, right? Which is normal. It's going to be the same across all the different pages. So let me just hit refresh, and you'll see that there is no countdown, all right? Okay, so with 5 days left, the countdown isn't showing. But what happens, so how do you test this out? How are you going to know that this thing actually shows up? Well, under the testing section, there's a really cool and useful feature where you can change the start date. So tracking started on April 2nd. So if I bump this back and say, well, what would it look like if tracking had started, say, 4 days earlier? Okay, so wait till it updates. You'll see in the top right-hand corner it says local tracking updated. Okay, so now what I can do is I should be able to go and let's go to the checkout page and hit refresh. And when the page loads, you're going to see that, yep, because we're inside of that window, the countdown shows. So let me go ahead and do this again. So if I change this back to something like April 2nd and let that update, and I hit refresh, it's not going to show. Okay, so what this feature does is it will hide that countdown until there's a certain number of days left. So around the time where your emails are going out talking about how, hey, guess what? There's a deadline. You still have about 48 hours left or 3 days left to take advantage of this, but PS, there's a deadline. Okay, and then your emphasis on the deadline gets more and more and more until the last day. It becomes pretty much about the deadline. Hey, this is the last chance. This is your last opportunity to get this special deal. Because if you wait till past midnight tonight, you're going to miss out. Deadline, 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 deadline. So you're really hammering the deadline. So that's when you really want to make sure in those last few days that the deadline shows up. But I would recommend that you think about hiding the floating bar early on in the first 2 to 4 days of your promotion. So that's a really powerful feature of Deadline Funnel that I wanted to make sure that you're aware of. And the third tip is that you want to test your funnel before going live. There are so many things that we can fix and tweak before you actually start sending prospects through. But if you realize, oh no, I've got a mistake in your funnel and you've got a bunch of people in your funnel, it can make things a little bit more challenging. It's sort of like checking your car, the health of your car as you're going down the highway. You can't change the oil or change out a spark plug while you're driving down the highway. Test out your funnel before you go live.